Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I am Disco Kitty the Crappy Crafter. Today we're going to be working with some resin. We're going to make some coasters. They're going to be pretty straightforward. It should be a fairly simple short video. I have 4 of these. I haven't decided if I'm going to fill all 4 of them or not, because that's an awful lot of resin. Because look at how big these are. These are huge. Though they do have a recessed center so that when you set something on it, it doesn't just slide right off. It's got a little edging, so that's cool. So on at least one of them, I'm gonna put this film on. You can't really see it, but see if I can do this. Will this help? Oh yeah, that helps a little bit. You see all those rainbows? Rainbows! We love us some rainbows. So, we're going to do this on at least one of them, maybe 2 of them, and then we'll do some just pretty things with the other ones. Maybe we'll put it on all 4. I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but let's just get right into it. And, of course, you decided to disconnect just as I was gonna hit stop. Bitch! Alright, first thing we have to do is measure it, because I don't want to make the film too big. It can be a little bit too small. That's okay, as long as it's not too small. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some flat edges, because the edges on this are very, very not straight, and I'm not sure why they're not straight. They should be straight. They were in a window. But hey, you know, whatever. So it was approximately 3 5/8, so that's what I measured out. I'm going to cut 4 of these because by this point I have decided that I am going to do 4 of them, all 4 of them. It's going to be like 12 ounces. Yeah, like 12 ounces of resin, I think. No, not that much. It turned out to be a bunch of resin. It was a lot of resin, but it came out really good. I'm really happy. Now the one thing, I guess I didn't need this glue, because when I take it off later, there's really no, I don't know, I don't think I really need the glue. And what I should have done was make better sure that the film was pushed down, and that I'm showing you what I'm going to cook it in later. That is technically a tumbler cooker. So this is where the tumbler arms go in, so I'm gonna mostly cover those. I'm gonna leave some gaps for the air to escape, because the air has to be able to escape. There's an intake, and these are the outlets. But like I said, it's meant for tumblers. I was making pens, but yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna measure this up twice. So I'm gonna do, this is half of the resin I'm gonna use, and then there will be another half that I will mix up off camera. I'll have 4 different colors, and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, the one thing I should have definitely done was make sure that there weren't any bubbles underneath the film against the bottom of the mold, because it makes some interesting divots in the end product. Not that they're bad, because the bubbles are on the correct side of the film, I guess you could say. They're not on the side where the resin is going to touch it. It just makes some interesting texture. I kind of like it, honestly. And I'm not gonna really notice it while I'm filming this. I'll notice it afterwards. But when we're mixing resins, make sure that you scrape the sides and the bottom completely and often. Mix for at least 3 minutes, at least. Bigger batches tend to need a little bit more time, 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want to mix too long or too hard. You want to mix gently, because you don't want to introduce too many bubbles. Now, because I'm cooking these and not putting them in a pressure pot, I am I mean, I have already let these sit for 5 to 10 minutes so that they get as much bubbles out of them as they can. And I did, you may have noticed earlier, I did try to do the, alcohol spritzy method, which works really, really well on tiny bubbles, not so well on big bubbles or bubbles that have a heavier layer of resin over the top of them. I mean, the alcohol works, and it's certainly a lot safer for your molds and stuff than trying to use any kind of fire, much less the torches, because as we all know, I usually torch my molds, and I usually ruin my molds by torching my molds. But the new film I was talking about, I put a new film on my bathroom window. It came with a little tiny perfect spritzy bottle. It puts out the finest mist. And I was like, I'll try this with the alcohol. And I was like, I was really impressed. I really, really appreciated. It worked really, really well. So less flame in the future for me and my molds, which is great. But here we go. We're gonna, I misted them. I'm gonna try to put the faceplate on. This thing does not fit well. It is so hard to get in there. This was actually the third attempt of trying to get it in there. It was such a pain in the ass. It also wasn't plugged in. And here it is 3 hours later. I imagine after doing this that I still don't know where that resin went. Like, where did that resin go? It just disappeared into the corner there. But I imagine the bubbles came from underneath the film. But yeah, you saw I pulled that right off the mold. The glue didn't stop it at all. But that corner is so weird. It's just hollow in that corner. I don't know where the resin went. It was just weird. It went to the ghosts. Yeah. Anyways. Now it's time to try to get the film out. I didn't think about the fact that the film was going to get stuck on it. I had such a hard time with this at first, but I put this one down because this one is pissing me off. I'll put it down. I'll pick up a different one that's a little bit easier, had a little bit less underflow on the edges, and yeah, there it is. Yay! Look at it. And I'm gonna disparage it. I am. I'm gonna be like, this is crap. But it honestly, it came out really, really nice. It really did. It took me a day to really appreciate it. But like I say later, the film doesn't show the rainbow as well as I thought it did. It's more of a refraction thing. The light has to go through it, and then you get rainbows on your walls. But I mean, it worked. It did what it was supposed to do. But you see all those little divots? You see them? I think it gives it interesting texture. And they're all still rainbow because the bubbles were on the other side, away from the resin. But yeah, it was very satisfying peeling these once I figured out how to get a hold of it. Oh, so nice. And this is the reason why I have to make sure it's not too big, because if it was too big, I wouldn't have been able to get the edge up because there wouldn't have been one. It would have been inside the resin. And there it is. Yay! Well, that worked, but not quite as well as I was expecting or hoping. Well, hoping. I was expecting it to fail completely, so there's that. So here's the green one. You can't see the rainbows. You just can't see the rainbows like you can in real life. And honestly, you can't really see the rainbows that good here either. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe the resin was too thick by the time I poured it in. It didn't get down into all the little grooves. I don't know. Oops. Scrap. think this one shows up the best out of all of them. But it is technically supposed to be, you know, like window film, so it's supposed to, you know, like refract the light as it comes through. So let's do this. Yeah, you can kind of see them. It would probably make some pretty cool rainbows in the sunlight if I like hung this up in the window or something. It's not bad. It would make a cute little like sun catcher of some kind. I'll do one you can see. But ooh, look at that. Yeah. So yeah. So that was a window film. It's a cling film, so it doesn't have a sticky side. So that's why I put glue on it, but I don't think the glue helped at all. I think that the tackiness of itself helped hold it down to the flat silicone rubber anyways. So I don't think I needed the glue, but it didn't hurt in the end. So that's all that mattered. But we'll go through them again. Green. Lavender. Hot pink. Hot pink is the only pink, by the way. And blue. But yeah, I think they worked out pretty well. I might do them again. Maybe I'll get a different style of film, because that film, I actually recently took off of a window because I put a different film on there. So it was gonna get thrown out anyways, although it was perfectly usable. I don't think... Yeah, I didn't keep any out, but just show you what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So you can't really see the happy stuff anyways. It goes there. Oh yeah, see that? That's what it's supposed to do. It leaves lovely rainbows all over my bathroom when the sun is coming in from the south. Because south facing. And yes, my bathroom has a window in the shower, which is what I did. This stuff, you can still kind of see the human form. I can still see the human form through it. So I had to put a different film on so that I didn't feel like people were watching me. I'm sure that they weren't, but you know. I just wonder where these bubbles came from. It's quite the little cluster of them. They're actually quite cute. I think the pink one, yeah, the pink one did the same thing. It's just kind of weird. But yeah, sorry. Now I'm just rambling. So with all that being said, I think it worked really, really well. I might do it again sometime. Maybe I'll do some round ones. Maybe I'll do some of the ones that don't have the lip on the side, but I really appreciate those. But yeah, so with all that said and done, thank you so much for visiting, and I'll see you again next week. Stay safe.